Welcome to the Command Center Draft Special, presented by SeatGeek, the official primary ticketing partner of the Washington Commanders. Get 20% off Commanders tickets this weekend using code COMMAND. That's code COMMAND. We have our guys out in Ashburn in the studio as well. Fellas, we are on the clock. Our first pick in the third round. In the second round, we made some moves. Defensive tackle, tight end, defensive back. How you guys feeling? What do you guys think is coming next?
I don't know. I'm gonna jump on the limb and say why.
Tackle.
We're just gonna keep saying and trying to put it out there.
Hey, man, it's still people out there.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
You got big KA.
Yep, old boy out of Yale.
We don't know his name. It's spelled a certain way, it sounds somewhere else. But ultimately, he'll bring the IQ up on the team.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
All right, welcome back into Ashburn. Brad Whiteside, London Fletcher, Fred Smoot, Logan Paulson will get you back out to Detroit when the pick is made here at number 67, which would be the fourth pick of the day. They had 3 second-round picks. This will be the first of 2 third-round picks for now. Washington is still slated to pick at number 100, and we haven't gotten an offensive lineman yet, so I assume.
Where's the beef?
We'll get a fat boy right now.
You get anxious right now.
But Peter's I trust, but I'm thinking we got to get a lineman here.
Well, you know what? After going best player available and getting the guys that we've got that you already added to the roster, why not go big boy? I think you either got to go pass rusher right here or you got to go tackle or guard.
I mean, right now at this point of the draft, it's so hard to predict what they're going to go. I mean, there's obviously offensive line would be a tremendous need here, but I do think like they've just been so consistent about saying who's the best player on the board.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of philosophy is what we're looking for here. So,
You know, like there might have been a calculated risk. We don't really know. We'll have to ask them because they waited on tackle early. Remember, they traded down. They chose a defensive tackle, and then they waited again because of the early run at that position. Suddenly, there were some ones that just started going off the board. 5 to 10 picks ahead of them. So I mean, we don't know the truth of how they probably feel about this, but they were certainly waiting for something.
yeah, I mean. Patrick Paul's off the board. Roger Rosengartner's off the board. Like all of the Kingsley Sumatai just went to Kansas City. So the guy that's kind of remaining of that kind of next tier of offensive lineman is Karan Ahmadiji from Yale, who again is got all the traits you want in the world. I don't know if they go that direction because 36.5-inch arms, man. That is a special length. Fletch, man, this guy can move around a little bit. He only played 4 games last year because of a quad injury, but has that athletic profile to be something great.
Is he a dog, though?
I mean, it's a bulldog. It's a bulldog. You went to Yale, right? Come on now.
But I don't think he's one of those guys you can plug and play right now. I think he'll need to be polished. He's a guy that would need to, to be on the bench for a while until he finds his way.
Well, I think that's most of these guys anyway.
And what do you think about coming out of that level of football? This is an enormous jump from the Ivy League up to
football is football.
the NFL.
Is it a football, grass, and some lines? Yeah. But at the end of the day, he can learn how to play on this level. That's why I say you can't plug and play him. But right now, if you patient with him, you can.
And we got coaches that would pay a lot of money.
Coach, do your job.
Coach that's exactly right.
All right.
Another guy, interesting, Peyton Wilson, still out off the board.
Oh, linebacker.
Pick is going to be made very soon, so let's send you back to Detroit with Brian Santana and B-Mitch.
Sorry for the technical difficulties, guys. We are out here in Detroit. When we're making TV magic, sometimes things happen. However, we are at the start of the third round, and the Commanders' pick is in. They haven't said who they've picked yet. However, this is the first pick in the third round. We have one more at 100. That is a compensatory pick, and they are about to announce the pick. Brandon Coleman. So they put guard on the graphic, but however, they did say tackle.
He's a swing
guy. He can play tackle, and he has the size to play tackle. He is 6'6", 320, almost 35-inch arms. He has athleticism and measurables that give him an extremely high ceiling, and that's what you want out of your third round guys, right? I mean, some things make these guys fall, but however, it's all about that ceiling, right, Tanner?
No doubt. I mean, we've been throwing corners at the wishing well, and we finally got our tackle.
Finally got it.
I mean, that's one of the things about this draft, man. You really never know, and like I said before, the staff must know something about what other moves they can make for them to say, hey, we can wait a little longer to make that decision. We don't have to rush because they might have a couple of more moves brewing. And if he's the guy, they say he's the guy, then he's the guy.
For sure.
Well, we know one thing about TCU, they throw the ball a lot.
Yes.
So the guy must have some level of experience at pass blocking. And I think that's the whole thing. You may have to help him in the run blocking scheme because they do a lot of stuff that's in the spread. But that's what you're doing in the pros now too. Yeah. But they finally went and got somebody on the offensive side of the football, which we felt they would be doing earlier. Yep. But still, I'm pleased with it. Let's see how it goes.
Commanders family, we finally got our tackle. And to Tanner's point, Adam Peters, he does this. He came into the league as a scout. Much like Eric Spoelstra, he built his way up. So if there's one guy that knows the tape and knows a guy's ceiling, it is Adam Peters. Let's send it over to our guys in Ashburn to get their takes on this pick.
All right, welcome back into Ashburn. We're just steps away from the war room. So they did get an offensive lineman here at a TCU, Brandon Coleman. Listed as a guard, but played both guard and tackle at TCU last year. Left tackle as well. 4 games at guard, 7 at left tackle. Most important thing, 429 passing snaps, no sacks allowed. Very good season.
I love this pick, love him. When you watch that tape and his athleticism, I saw him throwing a lot of people out of the club. Looks heavy-handed, big lower body. When you want, that's what you want in an offensive lineman. A guy built like that, heavy hands. You saw some athleticism. I saw some nastiness in him too, and he fits the mold of what we're trying to bring into this building.
When I get a fat guy that smell like bacon, I like when he wakes up at 7 a.m. and choose violence. When I watched his film, what you say? You want him to live well? Like he seems like that type of guy. Like he enjoys. Like some guy enjoy inflicting pain. Like watching his film, it's like he was just the Joker. He was laughing while he was getting the job done.
Yeah, he's a big old hoss, man. And I think I worry about the kind of top shelf athleticism, but I think the position flexibility, and you need a guard, right? I think you bring out Algaretti to kind of be that rotational guy to compete with a guy like this, compete with Chris Paul, and you can never have too many offensive linemen, man. Even if you're developing them on the inside, like that's a very, very valuable position. And again, you mentioned the heavy hands, you mentioned the physicality that shows up on tape. You can move people off the spot. It just depends on where you think he's suited best. Again, I personally think guard, but has that flexibility.
Heavy hands, light feet.
Yeah, I'll be interested to hear how they qualify him. Obviously, there feels like there's this specific need at left tackle, and at guard, there is a competition there. I mean, they brought Nick Allegretti in, but they're not guaranteeing him a starter job, and they didn't pay him starter money. So I think there could be a competition that could build there. We'll just have to see how they view him.
Competition. And when we were talking to Dan Quinn last night, he was talking about the best defense that he had in Seattle. We were talking about like 41 out of the 42 guys they had on one of the defenses ended up all playing in the NFL that year. He wants as much competition as you possibly can. Bring more competition in. They'll figure out who's going to play where and who's going to be the starter, who's going to be backup. I love them just adding a big man, heavy-handed offensive lineman. Let him figure out what he's best suited for.
I think he understood the depth is how you win. It's not the first guy on your roster. It's the 53rd guy on your roster. And the one thing about it, when guys go out, we need guys that can come in and keep a certain level of play, and I think that's what he wants.
No, I totally agree. And again, like the more consistently good football players you can add to the team, the better the total roster. Like you said, it's the 53 guys together. And adding guys like this is a key part of that.
Okay, they're not done today. 4 picks already made, including a trade with the Eagles that got them what was another second-round pick, but they got 1 to go. Pick number 100 is still on the board, last pick of the 3rd round, and we'll be back to recap that when it happens later.
Join me as I take a deep dive into the least insulted ticketing app in history, SeatGeek. Did SeatGeek invent the ticket?
No, but we do make them work.
Drum roll, please. Ooh, how do I use the Seat View feature?
It shows seats with a pole blocking the view. Don't buy those.
What if I want to sit behind a pole?
Buy those.
Join me as I bore you to death with a series of interviews about a ticketing app that just does what it's supposed to do.